All right, guys, we are on chapter 6 of What is the Statue of Liberty? So chapter 6 is called The Statue's Guts. Things were going great, but there was still one problem. Until that point, Bartholomew had been using temporary wood frames inside each of the statue's sections for support. He knew that that kind of frame wouldn't be strong enough for the enormous statue when it was finished. It was time to hire an engineer to come up with a support structure that would fit inside the statue and hold it up. He decided on, oh man, I don't know if I can pronounce this one, Eugene Violet de Duc, Leduc. Violet Leduc. I don't know French very well. He thought that weighing the statue down was the best plan. He suggested filling the statue from its hips to its feet with big, heavy boxes of sand. This idea probably would not have worked. In any case, Violet de Luc died before he could try it. Next, Bartholomew turned to Gustave Eiffel for help. Later, Eiffel would build the world-famous Eiffel Tower in Paris, but he was already famous for building railroad bridges out of iron beams. Big bridges had always been built of stone. Eiffel had discovered that iron beam bridges could support more weight than stone. At this time, this was a brand new idea. He decided that Bartholomew's copper shell statue would remain hollow except for the strong iron skeleton inside. It would work in somewhat the same way as a human skeleton. While the copper skin sections were being created inside the Paris workshop, outside in the courtyard, workers began building the iron support structures. First, a 96-foot-tall iron tower called a pylon was built that would go inside the statue's feet to its neck. The tower had 4 tall iron beams, one at each corner. Cross braces that looked like big X's connected the beams. On top of this, a smaller iron frame was built for the head. Another long iron support frame for the arm holding the torch angles from where the shoulders would be. A double spiral staircase was built in the center of the statue skeleton, with one set of steps for going up and another for going down. The stairs go all the way into the head, and a ladder leads up to the torch. Here's a little picture of what that's going to look like. I can't believe they could do this. It's still shocking to me. Then thin iron bars are bolted on one side all along the pylon so that they could poke out towards the copper skin. The far ends of each of these bars are bolted into horizontal rib bars braced along the inside of the statue's copper sheet skin. This kind of connection system means that no sheet of copper skin weighs down on the one below it. Instead, the thin iron bars transfer weight of each copper sheet back to the strong pylon tower. The first skyscrapers would be built using this method just a few years later. So they inspired people to build skyscrapers with this method. Pretty cool. When the whole iron support frame was ready, workers started adding the shaped copper sheets. They began at the feet and worked their way up, fitting the copper sheets together like patchwork quilts to form the statue's skin. Temporary screws were used to hold them in place for now. Rivets, which were like big nails, would be used later when the statue went into its final location in New York City. But July 1882, Bartholomew's statue was covered with copper up to its waist. 8 months earlier, an architect named Richard Morris Hunt had been chosen to design an enormous pedestal in New York. It would be the base on which the statue would stand. Hunt was known for building mansions for rich families like the Vanderbilts. Like Bartholomew, he thought big. His first pedestal idea was 114 feet tall. It would be made of solid granite and would have to cost about $250,000. The American Fundraising Committee only had donations of a third that much. His design was too expensive and was rejected. So that was like the cost of the entire statue is what his base was going to cost. Wow. Hunt redesigned his pedestal. Eventually it was shortened to 80 feet. It would be built of concrete and covered with a layer of granite. That would bring down the cost. So instead of being solid granite, like all the way through, it's going to be concrete, then granite. So if you know anything about granite, that's going to save him a lot of money. All right, and that's the end of that chapter. So we'll read chapter 7 tomorrow. Oh my gosh, tomorrow's Thursday. Have a great day, guys.